All right, we're recording. Welcome to the team call. I'm super excited to talk tonight a little bit about Girl Stop Apologizing. Just a couple of announcements. There is a challenge group team-wide that we are starting next Monday. I believe they can be doing any program for that. Correct, Nicole? Like it's multi-program, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are a couple people in the team that are doing just containers. So if you want a group that's just for containers, post.
Okay.
I think Amy might be doing with just containers. I am not.
Okay.
So
needless to say, if you have people you need to get them in a group, we will find a group for them to go into. And also I've noticed today when I was on the Champions page, there's a lot of stuff. Kim Shaw even went over some more stuff with the UPF launch. So be sure to check that out. So tonight's call, I kind of just wanted to talk about the book, Girl Stop Apologizing, and how we let excuses or in our lives, kind of how she talks about, to kind of like hold us back from things that we want to pursue. Oh, who had the call? Oh, Kim Shaw. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So Kevin Shaw, not Kim, sorry. So Kevin Shaw, and I can share that on the page. I just noticed he'd done some more training today on the Ultimate Portion Fix. So just know that there's a lot of that going on in the Champions page if you need stuff. So I kind of want this to be an interactive call and talk about what are some of the excuses that help your limiting beliefs that you have about not being able to be successful or about pursuing your business or anything like that. Let's drop them in the thread, or you can unmute yourself. For me, the section where she talks about, I was just actually going over it again, is I'm not enough to succeed. For whatever reason, that has been like one of my excuses in my life to sorry, I think we're all muted now. Okay. So that has been a big thing that's like held me back in my life from, I don't know, it must have been like from a kid or something like that I have not believed in myself of being enough to be successful. And last year when I hired Josh to work with Josh versus time and education, that was something that he really helped me work through because I was putting that limiting belief in my head that people were not joining me in this business because I am not enough. So an affirmation that he gave me to use was because, what did he tell me? Hold on, I have to think about this. Because I am enough, what I have to offer is of worth and of value. And so that affirmation really helped me kind of get past that limiting belief, that lie in my head that I was saying that I'm not enough because I've failed at certain things in my life, or I failed at maybe not being perfect on a nutrition plan, or being perfect with working out, or being that perfect mom or that Pinterest mom. Like, I have always put that, that like pedestal, like I have to be up here in order to be successful. And that is completely wrong, because what I'm learning is to embrace the chaos, the mess that life throws at you, the mess that you're going to have in the business, the mess that you're going to have in your own life with kids, work, wherever you're at. There's nothing that is like, it's never going to go seamlessly perfect. And so that was one big excuse that I had to really let go of. And I have to remind myself daily. Like right now I'm cringing because I know that my house is a mess out there, but I'm like, it's fine. I'll clean it later. That doesn't determine my worth. That doesn't determine my value. And I remember Nicole saying on a call that when you're pushing for a goal in your business, more than likely your life behind the scenes is going to be a mess. There's no such thing as balance, because that's my thing in life. It has to be balanced. So that's another excuse. If life isn't balanced, then I'm doing something wrong. And that was something I had to let go of, was that I'm not going to be perfect, and it's going to be messy and scary, and I'm going to fail and I'm going to learn. But that is the only way we can really honestly and truly move forward. So what were some other ones? Oh, so Christy said time and education. What do you mean by that on education? Can you tell us more, Christy? Do you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, my entire high school life, it's always like pushed on me, on anybody around me, like you're like nothing unless you have some sort of an education behind you. And that meant that you had to go to college and have something saying that you were smart enough to do a job. And I didn't really know that it was holding me back until sometime this summer, or actually I think it was around fall. I was doing my why, and really digging into all the nitty-gritty questions and realizing that the what was holding me back is that I felt like I didn't have the like, who am I to say you should drink half your body weight in water every day? Like, who's who died and made me that person? Like, so I have a couple of affirmations that I say, and I pulled them up, but one of them is, I have built a solid business foundation based on my values, belief, and exceptional leadership skills. Except belief is in capital letters, because off of the education, it's what I believe. And Nicole has told me, probably for the entire 2 years that I've been doing this, that I struggle with belief. And it's like, no, I believe it. I see it. But it's taken some time to like really understand what I didn't believe. And then my other one is, I wanted to say both. I am capable of leading baby to diamond and beyond coaches. One of my coaches is on here tonight, and it just it hit me one day when I was like, she's doing this with me, and I'm not leading her down a bad path. Like, I literally have the answers. Like, I can do this. So and here she's Emerald, still adding people to her team, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
And then time, I have to say this one, because this was one that I struggled with for the entire first year, is that Nicole would ask me, well, what if you got up at 5? And I had like 1,001 excuses as to why I could not do that. And then one day I was just getting up at 5, because that's when it was going to work for me.
Right. That's awesome. Well, because I feel like you flipped in February, like, because you had a successful month, you hit diamond and you hit Success Club. Do you feel like, what was the biggest number one change from October to February that?
There were a few things that happened. My cousin passed away, and I was very out of control of my emotions.
Yeah.
And that I'm very Emerald in the sense that I need to have somewhat control of my physical surrounding, but my emotions, like, I've never had that happen, where it couldn't control what was going through my head and how I was, just losing it at any point in time. But I was folding laundry and I looked over at Casey and I was like, damn it, I want this so bad. Why? There's no reason why I can't have this. And I broke it down. I was like, I literally need 15 people. And I think I had somewhere around, I don't know, 10, but not all of them got me SC points. But that was a total win. Just to say, I could get this person, this person, this person, this person. And then I just didn't stop when I was like, oh, this person's going to sign up. I didn't ride them. I put them in like this list of interested. Now I got to talk to 20 more people today. and the next day. So I don't know. More than that, I wanted some control. And I was on Team Cup, and I was the captain, and I felt like there was a responsibility behind it. But I also just, I have an affirmation that says that I lead by example. And Jamie went emerald when I hit, and that's what made me diamond, because I had lost Casey's emerald, that my husband's emerald, and she's what held my diamond spot, because I was getting SC points from me trying to get into Jericho's group. So I didn't make it, but I hit SC10. First time in 2 years.
Right. But that's like a celebration in itself, because you push for something. And I think so many times, and she talks about it in her book, pushing for those big lofty goals. So many times we think of like eating that whole elephant in one bite, when really it's just a bite at a time, one step at a time. And I mean, I have a big, hairy, scary goal, and I can't see it. I mean, I want 5-star by Summit, and right now I'm sitting at 1-star, and I have like coaches that are working. But looking at my back office right now, that goal makes no sense whatsoever. It's like I'm throwing in for a ticket for the lottery, like, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get there. But something that I learned is that goals are not meant to be meant. They're meant to push us. And so I think so many times we have to let go of that fear and that control of like, what if? And I always have to remind myself, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? We push for it and I only hit 3-star or 2-star. That's better than where I'm at right now. So why not, push for it? Something that I heard over the weekend was that if we focus only on what is like physically that we see and hear, we're going to miss out on life. And I think sometimes we get so hung up on what's going on in the back office that we forget to realize like how many lives we've changed through this process, like how our life has changed, like through a fitness program or through nutrition. What about like a challenger? Like, how have you changed your challengers? Like, those are huge successes that they don't celebrate as much in corporate as they should. But those are the successes that are going to keep me coaching long term, knowing that I help someone like find their life again. I have a challenger that did Shaun T's T20 or Transform 20, and it really like broke down walls. She was adopted. She had like major like issues. Her parents didn't want her, and she's, in her late 40s. And she said for the first time in her life, she actually loves her life and where she's at. And on bad days, when I get a million no's, I need to remember that. I need to remember that this can change clients' lives, and this can change our life. It's just a matter of being patient enough to wait it out rather than, giving up and quitting. So, Nicole, do you want to take over for a second?
Yeah,
my kid is screaming, so I need to go see what's going on.
Well, perfect, because this is what I talked to her about. So, hi guys, I'm from the lake. It's been a really rough day personally for me. So just say a prayer. I go to see the cardiologist tomorrow about, they think I have a blood clot in my leg. Awesome. But all of that is because I invested in myself and went to, I hired a one-on-one coach, and I was there on Thursday and Friday and spent all day with her. And I blame her because I had to fly there and fly back. And she was talking about, I think on several team calls, we've talked about affirmations, and some of us just really like, it doesn't resonate in our gut, like trying to write out things that don't feel right. And she said something that has really stuck with me. And she said, you're trying, or whatever in your brain, if you're sitting in your seat thinking, I have been sending the invites and I don't see any results. I have been following TB Mindset and my scale is the same. I have been doing T20 and my mindset hasn't shifted. Like, we expect if we do this, do X, it will equal Y. And that's not how it works. And the thing about affirmations are, it's not that it's a physical writing. It's that you have set it to the point where it becomes a spiritual or an intuition, or those of you that are faithful, I called it co-God, like relying on my spiritual maker, that I'm going to, and a team call in 2 weeks, I'm going to talk about this other placing your order, but I'm going to ask him for what I want. I'm going to trust that he has my best interest at heart. I'm going to do the work that I know I can do. And that's when the results come. I think sometimes we beat ourselves up because we're like, well, she did the tracker for 3 months and, rank advanced for a team, whatever. Or anybody have challengers that they feel like they just like check off box A, they lose 60 pounds easily and they get the results that you want and you're stuck. I have been there. I've been there in my business, which is why I hired her. I've been there in my personal journey. We've been there in other parts of our lives. And I just love that. Like when Rachel says in these first 3 chapters about your excuses, I think the excuses are because we're trying to do it ourselves. You are trying to grind out 40 invites when you're pissed, you're tired, you don't believe that this is going to work, you haven't lost 2 pounds this week, and you're just firing it off because it's on the checklist. Well, don't you think the person on the receiving end subconsciously feels like you're trying to bait them, or that you don't believe in your product, or that you're just another checklist on their list? I mean, I've gotten messages from people that I'm like, did you really mean to send that to me? Or were you really thinking of me? Or was I just on your checklist? And I am the first to admit, my tracker is how I live. I am an anal. I mean, look at my highlighters. This is like how I live my life. And I was saying, like, I wasn't checking on Eva until she came up on Monday night. Like I was waiting for my tracker to say Monday night, when my intuition, when my God, when my spirituality, whatever, was saying, hey, you need to check on Eva today. And I was ignoring it because I knew my tracker worked. So the excuses part I loved, I talked about with Ariane, was like, stop trying to grind it out on your own. And if you are lacking belief on whatever it is, products or the accountability groups or your coaching ability, the affirmations are there to connect you with the other realm at risk of feeling, like get all your crystals out and, meditate. But I think if you're struggling with affirmations like I was, because every time I would write it, I felt like lying. Like, I am a millionaire earner per month. I'm like, well, I'm freaking lying to myself. Yeah, but if I place that order and I say, God, I need whatever, $10,000 this week, I now have someone else that's doing it with me that is way more powerful than I am. And then when you have that belief and that calm and that peace, when I go to send an invite that says, hey, you want to do a challenge group, I'm not doing it by myself. I'm not like powering through it by myself. And I think Christy has like beat around the bush on that, but that's why she was successful this month, because she said that affirmation enough that she's not doing it by herself. And now she's got teammates that have felt that intuition or power or spiritual, whatever that is for you in your life. And that's when the tinder starts to burn. That's when the little spark that you have like so freaking hard tried to start by yourself, all of a sudden you have somebody else and you've trusted somebody else to do it. And that's when the fire burns. And I will tell you, looking back on this 6 years later, it is way more fun and way more exciting to get on a team call or to go on a team retreat with people who have that same fire and burn than it is to freaking pull your challengers. Please, for the love of God, just measure something in a container or open your app. And like, have you even seen the video from Alana? You're smiling because some people like bought it and they're like, I have an app for Alana. It's so much better to get messages like, hey, I've read through this, whatever, I have a question about my meal plan, or hey, I lost 2 pounds this week because I adjusted here. Or it's way more fun when you have trusted your intuition and your gut when you send out your invites. Yeah. So you can't like not do the tracker. You can't not do the vital behaviors. But I would challenge you to like listen and be a little bit more aware of like, my intuition told me to come here today. The old Nicole would have stayed at home. I would have eaten all of the chocolate. I would have done a billion Google researchers on all of the things for blood clots. And probably had convinced myself by tonight I was going to die, and I would have written my eulogy. but I didn't. I listened to my gut. Y'all, I'm under a doctor's care. Like I didn't like come out here like AMA, but it feels good to trust a little bit of that instead of grinding it out by yourself.
Right.
Got longer than I needed it to be.
Yeah, no, that was really, really good. That kind of goes along with how Rachel says, like, she talks about the girl signing up for Soul Cycle because her sister did Soul Cycle. So of course, because her sister loves Soul Cycle, then she should love it. And how, I don't know if you guys have ever struggled with this, but you'll look at top coaches or other coaches and you'll like try to run your business coincide with how they run their business. And it's not always going to work the same for us as it did for that other coach. Like, I know when Kate Morgan came out with saying she sent out 62 invites a day, a lot of people tried to jump on that bandwagon and send out 62 invites a day. But the difference being is that that's probably one of Kate Morgan's strengths, is like sending out those 62 invites. That's a strength of hers. She believes in this business so much and it lights her soul on fire, so she wants to share that with people. Whereas there might be someone else like myself where I'm like, well, I'm going to try that 62 invite thing or whatever and absolutely hate it, and that energy is going to transfer over and people are going to be like, well, no, I'm not, they're not going to it's not going to be received in the same way. So the tracker is there for us to be guided and to help us make sure that we do the things that we need to do. But at the same time, we need to work this business in a way that we, are you trying to take a picture? Work this business in a way that it brings joy to us, and being able to, to laugh and to enjoy it, because this business can get hard if you put your nose down and you grind, like Nicole was talking about. Like, who wants to send out 42 invites the rest of your life and not have any fun or any joy with it? We need to sit back and honestly really have that gut check. Like, how am I feeling right now? Like, if you're having bad energy, like, gosh, why won't someone join me? We need to sit back and realize, okay, what has this done for me? And why would I want someone to join me? Because you want to pay it forward and you want to give them those same things that you've received through this business. So she talks in the book after excuse 4 about writing a letter to yourself. And I think basically about the things that you've done and you've overcome to this point in your life. And I think it would be super powerful if you sat down sometime this week and wrote a letter to yourself. Write a letter about how the products changed your life. Write a letter about challengers that their lives has been changed. Write a letter about how personal development's changed your life. Write a letter about how belonging to a community with like-minded people has changed your life. I think if you sit down and you write a letter to yourself, you will be amazed at what this business has done for you in your life and blessed you, rather than just going to your back office to see what's going on back there. Yes, it's important back there, but it's not the whole picture. And I think we get caught up in that so often. So I absolutely love Rachel's book, and I'm loving diving into it. Is there anything else that anyone that has loved so far on the book that they want to share with us? No? Anyone?
I have something to share.
Okay.
I have a challenger that got introduced to Rachel Hollis through our community. She's actually a coach, but she doesn't work the business. Also, my kids are screaming. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But Carrie Zetter, she got to meet Rachel Hollis when she came to Oklahoma City. And it wasn't because she planned it. It was because somebody like had a ticket, and then another person had a backstage thing, and somehow she got back there and got to sit down and have a conversation with Rachel. And I'm geeking out because Rachel and I are best friends, and she just doesn't know me yet.
That is so cool. She's on my dream list to meet one day and have a picture with her. I'm visualizing them and run into her in Indiana and at Summit and be like, we're gonna
Yeah,
have a moment.
no, we just need to put this out in the universe that one of your prizes for hitting Success Club or something in May is going to be a photo op with Rachel Hollis.
Oh,
They always do
now we're
photo
talking.
ops at Summit.
Yes.
So if you want to hug on her, you just need to watch the back office for when they announce
The
stuff for that.
photo ops. That's a good one. Okay, I like it.
I'll even take a picture with Dave just because he freaking is hilarious.
He is a rock star. Like, for putting up with what he puts up with, I'm like, you are a champ. They're adorable. So I really think we all should take the commitment right now and promise to write a letter to ourselves this week, if not tonight, because it won't take much time. And I think it would be super beneficial for our own personal belief and our own, I think it would be good for us to do that. So that is all I have. I don't know if Nicole has anything else she wanted to add or anybody else. Trying to look in the comments. Summit is exciting. No? Okay.
I can always add. Does anybody have questions like in their business? Anybody have UPF questions?
He's good.
My children are trying to get to Netflix and we don't have internet.
Oh, shoot.
So a couple of other things that will be happening, just watch the team page. I'm going to redo the onboarding process to make it a little bit easier. I laughed at Melissa. I said, we should have planned this better because we worked for 2 days and I have like an action list of things I need to do and it's spring break. So like I have the children all day long. So I have like no focus time to redo it, but basically there'll be 2 tracks. I'm going to flip the team page once it's done back to, I don't know if any of you noticed on your mobiles, when you went to the team page, we had it in units. Now the units tab is called learning. So I'll divide it into 2 units. Anybody know when you sign a coach up, what the 2 tracks will be? Like, what does your gut tell you?
Yeah.
Challenger, right? Like the first part of people like sign up because they're like, I don't want to coach. This was me. I want to coach. And then how they get in a challenge group without us having to like really hold their hand through it. It will be step by step by step, including links to a challenge group. And then the other part will be people who are ready to jump in. That were like, I want this. I believe it. I can do it at the same time. So just watch for that. I also will start posting. I chastised Ariane today a little bit. I said, so first of all, I have been bad about, last March was our first team retreat and talked a lot about strengths. And I talk to Deborah all the time. Debbie Simpson is the one who led our training. And I was like, I have just been a terrible leader bringing out people's strengths. So we're going to do Strengths Saturday, and there are 34 of them. So if you don't have the book called Strengths-Based Selling, or you've never taken the test, it's by Gallup. It's a Gallup poll. Buy the book because the code to take the test is in the book. Otherwise, you're going to pay to take the test, and then you'll want the book. Every Saturday, I'm going to be posting about 1 strength. And then hopefully we can focus on that strength during the week and just kind of bring up that in conversation. I feel like personality test is too vague for that. But in order for you to understand how to help and manage your team better, you have to know your strengths. And you also have to know that across the board of Beachbody coaches and MLMs and business entrepreneurs, lots of us are successful and lots of us have different strengths. So those are the 2 big like action items. Watch for on the team page. The new coach training obviously will take me longer than spring break to do, but you'll still start to see it. So that way you don't have to be so worried about onboarding. It'll just be process as we go into summer, because this is really high season for us to build belief in ourselves and our own journey, and then in others. There are several coaches going on the cruise in 6 days, 7 days. It's like soon. So watch your newsfeed for that. And if that gives you a gut punch, guess what you need to sign up for next year. And then again, team retreat is in November. So our team retreat is in November. We'll be in Colorado. So put that on your calendar. I will meet you there. You can hold my baby while I sleep. That's really why we're doing it in November. Let's just be honest. Cool. So I'm excited. I mean, I feel like I haven't been this excited in a long time. And I don't know, last week, was it last week at our team call or 2 weeks ago? And I was like fired up, standing up. I just feel like it's time. It's time. Melissa was great this week, and this damn blood clot. If any of you have ever read the book, The Big Leap, this is what happens. You make all these plans to do something big, to work on something big, and your car breaks down, or boyfriend breaks up with you, or your kid gets like, not just sick, but like really sick. You have a blood clot on Friday and you call your OB and he's like, well, you could go to the ER, you can wait till Monday. Okay. Like I was like, this is exactly what that is. This is exactly what that is. You're almost about to break the 200s in your weight loss, and then, you know, you have a huge family event or a holiday. It's a great book. It's called The Big Leap.
Okay.
So anyway. All right. Well, I can't take a group picture. So if you guys want a group picture, someone's going to have to screenshot it because I'm on my iPad. And I can only see a limited number of you.
Let's see.
And my awesome lighting double chinness. So tell me when someone's going to take a picture so I can like.
Here, I'll
Thank
take
you, Jamie. I think I'll be fine.
Okay, everyone.
I can walk today. That's better than it was this weekend.
Okay.
You got us all?
Yep. Smile.
Cute, Christy.
Christy's all like, I like it. So cute. Well, thank you all for being on. And that was another thing that Nicole and I talked about, is that we really would like to encourage everyone to hop on to the call live. Yes, they are always recorded, but getting on live, it brings us, I feel like it makes it more of a community feel, and you just get a better vibe than watching your recording. So encourage your coaches to hop on live and keep doing what you're doing. And I'm excited to see what this new stuff that Nicole's going to come out with. So thank you all for hopping on. Have an amazing night, and we will talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.